Thank you for your special greetings to you all. Once again, I hope you all had a great week. And I certainly hope it was a great Father's Day for all you fathers out there. Where would we be without Father? And this week also marked the summer solstice, a name meaning sun standing still. Believe it or not, it's also known as midsummer, although I swear summer just began. And we do think of it as being the first day of summer, so I'm always confused about that midsummer. Now, as we know, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the longest day of the year, right? Like in Finland, you get 24 hours worth of day. In Alaska, 22. In Iceland, about 21. London or Paris, 16 and a half. And here in the Northeast, it's about 15 and a half. And it's a lot of sun. Throughout history in all cultures, these four special solar days, the solstices and the equinoxes, have always been considered sacred days. They've always marked significant things on the calendar. And they're clearly named in the Talmud. Tekufa Nisan, the spring equinox, when the sun enters Aries. Tekufa Tammuz, the summer solstice, like now, when the sun enters Cancer. Tekufa Tishrei, the autumn equinox, when the sun enters Libra. And Tekufa Tevet, the winter solstice, when the sun enters Capricorn. And Tekufa means turn or cycle. And time is depicted as a giant wheel turning. And you will notice that we have many of our holidays surrounding these 4 days. Now, as we celebrate these power days with blessings for the changing seasons and our kavanot, the prayerful intentions for crossing from one time to another, they're not new. They're based on very old traditions. Traditions, which have been lost, but which many people today have chosen to use or to reincorporate into their own ongoing personal spiritual practices. And your practice should be unique to you. Now, as the Torah warns in many places, from either a positive or negative view, do not follow the mob. Follow your heart. I remember, my friends, everything that happens in your life is a result of your kavanot, your intention. So honor the change by engaging your senses of sight, of sound, of taste, of touch, of smell, as we do with the Sabbath and the Havdalah ceremonies, as we become one with the change of energy from spring to summer, from new beginnings to growth and expansion in the fullness of life, as we become fully present, fully conscious in the moment. It is an awakening of spirit. Now, each of the season changes heralds new challenges and new opportunities, and each stood for certain events which took place in biblical history. They represented the 4 New Years, the key dates, which actually also helped to unify the solar and lunar calendars and their celebrations. Now, the spring equinox is about the triumph of life. The summer solstice is always the confusing one to me. It's about loss and abundance. The autumn equinox is the link between earth and heaven, and we certainly encounter that because that marks Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the winter solstice is the search for light, and that makes perfect sense too, because that is during the darkest time of the year. So the summer solstice is believed to be the day that the flood stops so that the waters cease pouring onto the earth. It's believed to be the day that God exiled Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, and also the day he told Moses he could not enter the promised land. And for those who saw wicked, it is true. Animals had the power of speech, and it ended on the summer solstice. Can't tell you why, but it ended on the summer solstice. Now, it's the day that God stopped the sun from setting in 8 to Joshua, and it's believed that it's a day that no creature has a shadow. And so this most wonderful day of the fullness of life is considered a day of closure. The water, the garden, the day of exile, Adam and Eve, Moses, and the day of loss, the animal's ability to speak, of course. Now, it's not the way I think of the solstice, but it is also a day of benevolence. God provided water from the rock while the people were in the wilderness. We have the standing still of the sun to provide the most light in our lives. Now, it is a day of paradox then. Maximum light with a turn towards darkness, because every day from here on in, we lose just a little more light. Enjoy the cycle of life, my friends. The celebration of the changes in season is a great way to personalize your own spiritual observances. And everybody should, honor it in any way they can. So let us bless this change of seasons as we move from spring towards summer. Summertime. And the living is easy. Fish are jumping. And the cotton is high. Your dad is rich. And your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby. Baby, please don't you cry. And that, of course, is the great George Gershwin. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes the time and turns the seasons. As long as the days of earth endure, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. And while we seek blessings, some encounter difficulty and sadness. Those are the times that can take such a toll on us. Devorah, we are thinking of you, sending healing, love, and goodwill your way, and the way of everyone, for you, for your spirits, for all in need of elevation, of healing, renewal, the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that you all send out, circles the world finding those in need. So I thank you, each and every one of you, as we send healing out to the world. Me, Sheberech, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Mimotenu, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed everywhere. And we all know that the renewal of spirit is a coming together of energy, all of our energies. And it's our coming together as friends, as a chavura, a fellowship, joining to express our nature of kindness, of compassion, and an energy of sharing of thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and wishes that unites us all, coming together every week in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead, invite everybody you know, either physically or spiritually, to gather and share. You know, as you call on them, they'll feel your energy. From Psalm 133, the Hine Mitov, come together. Hine Mitov, Shevetachim Gam Yachad, Hine Mitov, Shevetachim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together, all together, my friends. So as a community, let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Now this week, we have stories of magic. Aaron's magic rod. It's removed from being the symbol of an individual, and it becomes the symbol of power. And we have stories of rebellion as we meet Korah and Dathan. Now, I kind of think of it as the Edward G Robinson scene from the Ten Commandments. You know, and I'm sure you all remember that one. Call out the instigators, because there's something in the air. We've got to get together sooner or later, because the revolution's here. and you know that it's right. You know that it's right. Yes, we all know that it is right. And there is an instigator, and there is something in the air. Because this week we read Korah. And that great Thunderclap Newman song was originally called Revolution. But it had to be changed because another group released a song with the same title. Now, Korah was Aaron and Moses' cousin. What you may not fully notice is that there's actually two rebellions going on here, almost simultaneously, but they're blended into one in the story. There's a rebellion by Korah for religious power, and by Dathan, the Edward G Robinson character, for political power, partly because both of those domains have been consolidated in the hands of the brothers Aaron and Moses. Now, Korah frames his argument in terms of the people. He acts as the archetype of some politicians, religious leaders, and others who act as though they represent a particular group and are working for the people, when their motives may be suspect. Now, he gets up with 250 leaders of the people, not the riffraff we heard about earlier. He's an influential guy. Numbers 16:3. And they assembled against Moses and against Aaron and said to them, "You have too much. For all the community, they're all holy, and in their midst is the Lord. And why should you raise yourselves up over the Lord's assembly?" Well, basically, he's saying we're all holy, all the people. So who says the holiest should be you? Why do you get to have the priesthood? Do not forget, neither Moses nor Aaron were elected to their position. In Numbers 16:5, Moses replies, and he spoke to Korah and to all of his congregation, saying, "In the morning the Lord will make known who is his and who is holy, and he will bring him close to him, and he will bring the one he chooses close to him." Now that's a great idea. Let God decide. And then Moses orders them. He doesn't suggest, he orders, he commands, do this. Take incense burners. Korah and all his congregation put fire in them and set incense on them in front of the Lord tomorrow. And it will be that the man whom God will choose, he will be the Holy One. So Moses sets up this great test of who is holy, to establish what it means to be holy in the priestly sense, as opposed to the general concept that the people are all holy and all the rest. So the test will be via the use of incense, because only the holy, only the priests are permitted to burn incense. Now at the appropriate time, they all light their incense, and the followers of Korah, all 250 of them, are incinerated like Nadab and Abihu were. Now at the same time, Dathan and Abiram from the house of Reuben, the firstborn of the 12 sons, and therefore the traditional political leaders, challenge Moses' hold on the leadership of Israel. Numbers 16:13. Is it a small thing that you brought us up from a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, that you lorded over us as well? Now they call Egypt the land of milk and honey. Right? So they twist things. They accuse the liberator of being the source of their problems, picturing the land of slavery as the land of milk and honey. And as usual, focusing on Moses rather than on God. Now make no mistake, this is a battle for leadership, which is to say it's a political battle, and therefore a battle for power. And it too dramatizes the danger of power-seeking politicians who are skillful speakers. Now, as you read this, you can tell from the reading that there's a hint at God getting a little bit pissed off with all this, and he's threatening to destroy everyone. But once again, our new pattern emerges. Numbers 16:21. And they, Moses and Aaron, fell on their faces and said, "El, God of the spirits for all flesh, should one man offend, and against all the community you rage?" Well, that kind of reminds you of Abraham's bargain with God over Sodom and Gomorrah, doesn't it? But this rebellion of Dathan and Abiram ends with the earth opening up, swallowing the rebels, and then closing up again. Now, it's not an earthquake, my friends. It's far more supernatural than that. It's open, swallow, close. So in one fell swoop, probably just a couple of moments and a couple of miles apart, God wiped out the 250 challenging Aaron and the entire families of those challenging Moses. The next day, and all the congregation of the children of Israel complained the next day against Moses and against Aaron, saying, "You killed God's people." So now we have the entire congregation of Israel challenging them. And the pattern continues. The people say that Moses and Aaron caused the deaths of Korah and his group, and they twist it even further by saying, "You killed God's people." Now that seems to put Moses and Aaron on the opposite side from God. And so God's response is quite ironic, my friends. They've said that Moses and Aaron have killed God's people, so now God threatens to kill his people himself for their attack on Moses and Aaron. And the irony continues because Moses and Aaron are the ones who save the people from the rage and the plague that comes that wipes out like 14,000 of them. So there's two rebellions intertwined as one with two different modes of destruction. A consuming fire engulfs the Levites, while the Reubenites are swallowed up by the earth. Now perhaps this odd weaving together of the two rebellions is intended to suggest that political and religious power are inseparable, also intertwined as one. A fight man has been having ever since. Yes, the world is sacred and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love, share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody that you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. To those you love, that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace. Keep working on manifesting your year of freedom, your new life, your dreams with all its opportunities. Remember, we do set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our capital, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have the time to forgive and to be forgiven. And you do have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. And ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those you have hurt, as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate in life. Do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, my friends. Follow love. It is always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. And may all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere that you go. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be present in all of circumstances. So make the most of your time in life. Recognize your ability to be a contagion of holiness, to touch and transform the lives around you. You are forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Remember, you say you want a revolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world. You tell me that it's evolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? in. And that's the other song called Revolution that came out at the same time. Enjoy life, spread the blessings you've been given, embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Great lesson of leadership, my friends. Be there for someone because someone is always there for you, whether you know it or not. Be happy, be healthful. Help everybody you can. Be healthy, be kind, and be loving. Until next time. Now, and please do note, my friends, due to the Canadian anti-spam legislation, I do need you to reply to the email that you were sent in order for me to continue sending you these. So please do, if you enjoy them. Anyhow, Shabbat Shalom. Blessings to you all. Thank you. And hopefully I'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye.